Mic check 1 2. Hello everybody. This is Chompsky. We're going to go ahead and begin tuning for the week of December 1st, 2024. If you're new here, my name is Chompsky. This is an indicator suite that I tried to develop for myself so I could get a little bit closer to automated trading, and I am tuning for the week in hopes to get a good set of indicator results that I can pick and choose from, and basically set up with a bot called Predator, where I will allow the bot to adopt my signals and enter trades and manage them for me. The goal is to hopefully pick enough signal combinations that are good, depending on how the price action looks and how it's going, to profit through the week without really much work beyond this tuning. So do this at your own risk. I definitely don't recommend just jumping into this if you've never done it. Maybe do it on demo, give it a shot. If you're new to trading in general, it's definitely something that I enjoy doing. I've been an active trader for a while, but I don't have the time, and I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to be super involved anymore with my trading, and hopefully I get to a point where I can automate at least as much as possible, and I'm getting closer. So bear with me here. We'll jump on into the week. This is after the Thanksgiving holiday, so I have a feeling price action might be just a little bit wonky, but let's take a look and see. Let's see here. We got the 4-hour chart right here. Oh man, I'm not showing any desktop audio on my audio, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get that working here. That's not it. Let's see here. No, that's not it either. Don't think it's going to let me do it while I'm live streaming, actually. No, sound settings, there we go. Give me just a second. I want to make sure. I do see that it is recording the audio, but the desktop audio is not currently using the correct microphone input, so I may not have anyone online, or at least on YouTube, that can hear me. It's possible. I may just have to roll with what we're going with and just see if it works. If it doesn't, I do apologize. Everything looks right in the audio, so I'm going to leave it. Alright, well, I can only do so much. It looks like the audio is set up correctly, so if it isn't working, I'll have to mess with that in a little bit. Alright, let's do a quick analysis real fast here on this chart. This is the 4-hour NASDAQ NQ futures chart. And if you're wondering what platform I'm using, it is called NinjaTrader 8. Many of these indicators are going to be my personal indicators I developed. Most of them are publicly released for sale. If you want to jump on the website and try them, I recommend trying them before you buy them. Don't just jump in and buy them. See if they're for you, and if they are for you, then consider buying them. But otherwise, don't buy them if you don't like them. Don't buy them if they don't help you. So that's kind of my stance on my indicators. They help me, but everyone sees the market differently. So go ahead and try it, and if you like it, buy it. Anyway, back onto the chart. The 4-hour chart here. If we're looking at this, we've had a real weird holiday season here. Going back to the 1st of October, we had these run-ups, and then a lot of chop, a lot of sideways action before pushing higher, and then another pullback sideways, and then another really crazy run-up here. Really crazy right through the election season. So it makes me think, seeing this push so hard around the election season, I'm thinking we're probably in a bullish market. But I don't feel like we're clean. I feel like we're still going to chop. And this area here, really, it chopped quite a bit. So I'm personally going to be looking at tuning the indicators that really deal with chop better, a little bit better. And I think what I want to do here is probably assume we're going into the holiday season, December. I'm going to kind of assume we're going to be looking at a lot more chop as well, just going forward for the rest of the month. Traditionally, the trading trends tend to happen more in the spring. January, February months usually can be a little dry, but that's usually where it starts, and then it trends from there. But we've had some really oddball months here, so it's very possible we will see another bit of chop at least for the rest of December before we really get into a clean trend. Although this right here, this trend is wild. You just don't see this very often in December or November. So we're talking about having a really odd, strong push straight up here, and that really threw me off. I did expect if President Trump had won, I kind of just expected this because in 2016 something like this did happen. And so I kind of thought something might happen. I just didn't expect it to be this strong. So kind of threw me off just a little bit. But anyway, going forward, I do think we're going to be kind of in the same kind of grind melt up situation. But if we're lucky, we'll see a little bit more of a smooth push up too. So, all right, I'm using the ARC BXT Renko bars. And the settings I'm using on this are going to be 8520. I think if you download the newest version, there are a few more settings here. And I'm just not really 100% sure what those settings pertain to, but there's a pretty good chance if you download the new one, there's one or two extra settings. You'll have to read between the lines and figure out which ones are the settings that I'm using versus whatever this is here and what they've added. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to 10 days. And the reason I'm doing that is because I believe Friday was pretty dead. Although looking at the 4-hour chart, I'm kind of seeing a really strong run up for Friday, which is that's a Black Friday. That wasn't a lot of bars, but there was price action for sure that did more than I expected it to. So kind of surprised. Actually fairly surprised the fact that it did it so strongly and did it really well. Yeah, I'm gonna probably still go with 10 days. Just even though we did have a decent day on Friday, it really isn't many bars. As you can see, the day before, this was Thursday, I believe. The 27th was not Thursday, it was Wednesday. So the Thursday would have been here, this little day here, and then this was Friday. So this Wednesday, it was dead-ish. It was still better than Thanksgiving, obviously. But then we had the Friday that was not bad, but still pretty low volume. So I'll leave it on 10 days. This is Tuesday, as you can see. There's a whole lot more price action on Tuesday and then Monday. Yeah, you get about the same, a bit more. So. And this was a weekend day, I believe, here, Sunday or something. Yeah, Sunday. So yeah, you've got a few different days in there that you can see it really did slow down overall. And then Friday, I'll say Friday was fair. If you traded Friday, I don't blame you. It was better than I expected. So definitely not the best day to trade, but not the worst either. Yeah, not at all. You probably could have made money. I don't see any shark fins would have been probably what I had on, and I didn't see any there. So I would have made money unless I went with, well, even then, you might have been struggling with some of these signals. This one right here, I guess I wouldn't have been in the market anyway till this time. I usually don't start my bot until around here, about 6 o'clock Central. So it's possible I could have had it on CWAP with probably CWAP filter. And I probably would have had momentum trades on, so this would have been a win on Friday. Would have had a loss, and probably, well, no, that would have been a win here, and then that would have been a loss. So it wouldn't have been great for me if I went with momentum trades. Probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have been watching out more for shark fins. All right, let's go ahead and we'll jump into tuning. Again, I am using 10 days for my historical. And I'm going to be keeping my shark fin settings for now. They're still hitting in the mid 70 percentile, which I find that to be fairly good with 13 trade sample over 10 days. That'll give me about a trade or two per day on average. Hopefully we have some volume tomorrow. It is coming off of a holiday weekend, but we generally do see a bounce in the market there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into momentum. You see if we can tune our momentum signals just a little bit here. Let's see if we can't adjust the signals we already have. We're sitting at 52% win rate over 10 days. We'll play around a little bit here. And 52%. And I could tell the win rate was going down over the last few days. So what I want to kind of do here is I want to jump into some previous settings and see if we can't find one that just doesn't work better. So November 17th. Let's see here. We will probably have to move the screen. There we go. Force it to render. No, that's definitely not doing any better. So we will jump. Oh, this one's set to the momentum band, so we'll do this one. 33%. So that one has decayed as well. And we'll see if October's settings happen to work. Some of these I've switched since version 6, so we're probably not going to get the same effect. Yeah, so let's go ahead and tune it since I'm already back into version 6 settings, and those won't really work with version 7 well, so we can still try this with this setting. And it's still under break even, so alright, so we're gonna try to lower the, I actually did go into profit here, but we're gonna try and lower the tick separation from 30 to 25. Let's start there. That didn't do much. We'll increase it. And the tick separation, just for those that don't understand what that is, if you take two EMAs and you set one to 100, that's what I must set to, and the other one set to 25. I clicked the wrong button there. The yellow line here will be my second one. It's set to 25. And you actually measure the amount of ticks between those two, say here. You will get a tick separation. It's in points, but every point's 4, so you take 4 times 25, it's 100 ticks. So to get to this point here, or even, let's zoom in here. So this trade right here is less than a few ticks separated. So in order for this signal to be triggered right here, you have to have a specific amount of tick separation between the two EMAs. And so for that to work, it should be filtering out trades that don't have that. And so the bands should not be throwing a signal right there if the tick separation is not that wide. And it looks like it still is throwing a signal there, which is not right. Let's see what else I have here. I think we probably have the MACD signals off. We do. And just to make sure we have the momentum on, we're going to turn it off just to make sure it kills this signal right here. And it did. Alright, good. So we'll go ahead and turn it back on. And then we'll get back up here. Oh, this is the range tick separation. No wonder. I'm on the wrong tick. I'm on the wrong tick separation. So we have to go down to the momentum tick separation, which is going to be just a little bit further down here. Here we go. And it is set to 30, which doesn't make any sense. It's not separated by 30. Which makes me think we do have an issue here with the tick separation filter. Well, that is something for me to dig into if that's an error. We'll go ahead and enforce the bias mode. Okay, so enforcing the bias mode definitely helped. We're pushing 62% win rate now. Let's see, what do we have? The take profit and the stop loss set to 50 ticks each. So with a 50 tick, I think it's right, is it not? No, it's not. 54. So we're looking at 54 take profit and a 54 tick stop loss. So right now, with a 54 tick target 1-to-1, we are actually hitting a fairly decent amount of wins here. I'm not hating this. I will say I'm going to try to bump up the ADX and see if this doesn't help weed out just a few more losses. Okay, so we did. So we're at 65% win rate now. We're getting up there. I feel pretty good about this. Let's take a look at the signals just to make sure we do have some good ones. Here's a yellow or golden signal here. That'll be a momentum signal. Another one here. I don't know if that would have won. I think it would have lost, just barely. This one's definitely a loser. So we did have some losers on Friday. Which, I mean, that was a slow day, but still, you don't want too many losers, even on your slow days. So let's go through here. We do have these shorts that are triggering at fairly decent areas. Okay. So far, I just see the one. Here's another one. This one's decent. I bet this would have won on mine, the way I have it set up. Here's a loser. And I don't see a whole lot more. Just scoping these out. Yeah, so we're hitting some wins. This one would have been a winner. 35 ticks. So stop would have been up here at 54 ticks. So we have two winners back to back here. Let's keep going. Now there's a loser. Don't hate the places they're triggering. Not in love with them either. I may adjust them slightly, to be honest. And it would have been a loser. And this is most of last week, assuming we carry into this week with a similar approach to price action. Our momentum signals aren't doing horrible, but they're definitely not going to be something I opt for, not out of the gate. I do like the overall win rate. If I'm seeing how this is playing out, it probably was better, closer to the 10-day ago range. Let's take a look. We were slightly trendier before the holiday. Yeah, so we have a few here that were just beautiful. Struck gold on these. It's hard to say exactly what will happen this week. Just looking at the 4-hour chart, it looks like we're still squeezing. There's a pretty fair chance we could break out and push up. We did bust up into this resistance area up here. Sadly, this is it's squeezing and ranging right through this area pretty strong. I don't know if we'll break through it this week or if it could be a couple more weeks down the road. Kind of hoping, just based off of what we've seen before, right here and right here, we might end up with a similar situation where we get a day or two of chop and then it may drive hard again. And that's what I'm hoping for. So out of the gate, I don't know if we'll see a good chance for momentum. I'll probably start with shark fins and then switch over into momentum depending on how the price action looks. And yeah, so we did have a few back here, not that many. They were winners. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. It's probably not the signal of choice for me right out of the gate, but like I said, if it looks strong after a day or two, I'll probably switch to momentum. And let's see if we can't get our CWAP to kind of back up our momentum just a bit. Because our CWAP's it's not horrible. I mean, it's still kicking butt on its win rate, but I think we might be able to get a little bit better out of it. So let's see, did we have last week's settings still saved? I assume we do. And that would have been in the 24th, so We'll go ahead and leave that where it's at. I've got it saved, so if we can't get better, we'll come back to this. I'll go ahead and bump up the threshold, see if we can't get it to bump up the win rate as well. All right, that did bump up from 1.15 to 1.2. That forces the threshold to just be a little bit more strict, and we went from about a 65% win rate to a 67% win rate. Let's go ahead and go to 1.25 on the threshold. We might not have to adjust much here. And we fell back to 66% win rate. Still a pretty good sample. We got 28 wins, 14 losses. Let's try 1.3. Yeah, we're starting to lose trades. All right. And just for the heck of it, we'll go to 1.5 just to try it. Looks like 1.2 was the sweet spot. Yeah, we got 31 wins, 15 losses. Looks pretty solid. Let's see what a target was that. It was, okay, so we have a 70 tick target profit and stop loss. Let's drop that to 55 and just see what it does if it doesn't have such a wide stop loss. There we go. So we actually lose quite a bit if we drop that. And what that's telling me is we're still getting in very good trends on these higher tick stop loss and profit targets, but you don't want to be taking those unless you're actually giving it a really wide berth, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of the price action lately, it's been really choppy. You get these, like this signal right here would have been a loss with 55 ticks, this purple signal right here. But you actually, it pushes down, comes back, it stops out the 50 tickers and then goes down. So I bet there's a lot more of these situations where the price is just not, it's just not smooth. You got to give it a wider stop, unfortunately. But at the same time, if you have a good target, you end up with the 1-for-1 still. So we'll go ahead and try a couple more adjustments here. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to give it this confirmation. This is how many ticks it separated the CWAP from the VWAP before it starts plotting reversal signals. And let's just bump this to 50 ticks. Alright, look at that. So bumping that to 50 ticks, it's going to cut a lot of those opposing signals out. It's also going to, take away the chance to go back in the right direction. But this is definitely a higher win rate. It's capturing good trends, 73% win rate. I mean, that's hard to complain about. So I think that in combination with momentum, if things go the way I'm hoping they do, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, we might see a good chance to flip on the momentum signals and use the CWAP to filter them out. If you're feeling brave and want to give it a 70 tick stop loss, that 73% win rate's pretty tempting. So your losses are going to be bigger, but so are your wins. So, and I personally, I don't like doing that. I generally set my stop losses to 55 ticks or so, maybe in the high end usually. And then I usually set break-evens somewhere in the 40 tick range, and then I start the trail. So this is my current setup on that. If anyone wants it, I'll post this in the chat right now. And that way people can copy it if they want it. If you're going to do that, please, you do it at your own risk. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to tune the, well, I'm going to save my settings first. Save the bands here for December 1st. That's for the momentum settings. I haven't touched the reversal settings yet. We need to give that a shot here. Let's turn them on. Let the calculator run for a minute here. Alright, so reversals, they're definitely not coming out of the gate strong here. Let's try a couple of things. Let's turn this down just a pinch on the lower threshold. See if that doesn't help out. And we'll try 1.1. And we're close to a break even. Our exit band is right here. We're still at 0.70 on the second entries, 0.74 on the first entries. So let's go ahead and put it at 30 so we get a closer 1-to-1. And not working out, so let's try dropping it. Not a big fan of going much below 1-to-1 usually, but I mean, profit's profit if you win. So set it to 33 for now while we adjust the settings here. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and change this to 13 on the reversal power input. Let that adjust. No, I don't like that. Let's try 1.25 here on the lower threshold. 1.2 really worked well on the CWAP. Wonder if it worked similar here. This is the same calculation in a lot of ways, so the difference is the indicator itself works way different. So we can raise out the reversal power input, just see what happens. Nothing there. Set it back down to 12 for now. All right, let's mess with the BPMs. Let's push it to 20 here on the max. See if we get a better or worse outcome. About the same. We'll change this to 15, and that gives it a 5 point BPM window here to see what your win rate is within that 5-point window. So between 15 bars per minute and 20 bars per minute, we're actually doing horrible. So let's go ahead and drop that from 10 to 15, and we'll check that 5-bar window, our 5-point window. And what that tells us here now is the second entries are actually winners in that window. So we're able to actually kind of extrapolate a possible island of profitability in this area. The problem is there aren't that many trades, so the sample size is very low. So we're going to open it up. We'll give it 10 points here to play with, and that did not help, so we'll drop it a couple. Give it about 8. See if we can just find that perfect island in there where it's doing its best. Go from 9 to 15. And it looks like 10 to 15 is really where it's shining the most here for second entries. I'll go ahead and leave it at 8. Let's leave it at 16. We'll put this at 8. And that gives us a few more trades. We should be able to kind of find a narrow path to victory here. Let's go a little higher because we're sitting at 14 trades. I'd like to get it closer to 20 if possible. There we go. There's over 20 trades. We're down in the 30% again, but maybe I should lower the 17 to 16 and then drop the lower BPMs here. Yeah, it's about the same. No, we're definitely 22 trades here. So better sample rate to deal with, but we gotta chisel out winners. So let's try and do a few things here. We'll try the EMA filter mode. Alright, not really seeing much of a boost there. We could try a couple different things here. I'm going to change this back down a little bit lower threshold so we have a few more trades for sure. That actually, wow, that brought our win rate up doing that just there. So let's try this. Drop it down to 1. Okay, so 1 is actually helpful on the second entries. I wonder if the second entry filter is going to work here. No, it did not. Alright, so let's try filtering it by wave count. And we didn't get any that failed, so that's weird. Alright, so it looks to me like we're not really finding much value in these reversal settings again. Not super thrilled about that. I wish we had some better reversal settings. Let's try again. Let's move the reversal power input. We'll move it up a little bit here. I'd really love to see some better reversals here, and I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, Again, that's just not, it's not giving me what I want to see here. We could always try changing a few things here. Not 100% sure if it's really worth it, but we'll go ahead and try a couple things. We'll change this to a 1 so our stop loss is not so far away. We'll change the exit band just a tiny bit here. There we go. So now we actually got green on the first entries. The second entries are still not there. Try setting it at 27. That exit band is going to be closer and closer, so it'll exit sooner. In fact, let's try the opposite approach. Let's go to 40. Make it really have to win big. No, it didn't work. Try 45. No. All right, we'll try 20. So 20 is taking a really fast exit, but it is winning. It actually ended up green. Not many points, but it did end up green on both the first entries and second entries. So it's tempting to run with that. It's going to be a fast exit, though. All right, going to 22, you get a better point, a little bit of a better point payoff, but it's still almost break even. Not super happy here. I'm going to see if we can't just ease up just a pinch here and find that nice break off a profit. No, there, it didn't help there. Well, let's try 16. 16 is actually giving us close to a half of 1. It's a 0.5 to 0.5 to 1 ratio. First entries are not profitable, but they are winning. Second entries are almost 70% win rate. We have, oh, well, we're just under 20 trades. Very fast exits. Not my favorite, but this would actually most likely give us a profit if we just ran this with a good break-even strategy. I'm going to say I want to continue playing with this just a little bit. I don't feel like this is the best setting at all. So let me try a couple more things here. Let's change the BPM slightly. And I'm going to bump up the... That actually helped. I'm going to bump up the... let's see here. The exit band. Alright, so the exit band, I'm going to change it from 16 to 18. Well, that does drop us down about 4 points. Still only 33 points won to 28 lost. That's not a very good, I mean, to me it's not a very good sign. Even with almost 20, I guess it is over 20 trades now. I mean, it's a decent sample size, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not loving this. And it just might not be the week to use second entries. Let's see here. If we drop this down to 15, what does this do? Seems like these higher BPMs are not as successful. It brought us up to a 69% win rate there, just dropping this from 16 to 15. So it looks like the higher BPMs over 15 they were definitely not working last week. It's a good sign that something was happening during news, actually. Drop it to 14, we end up with 72% win rate. That's a heck of a lot better, actually. Wow. I think I'm going to roll with that. I mean, that's hard to beat. Let's see if we can get a little more out of the profit. We're still only 33 points up to 21 down, so let's see if we can get the exit band bumped up just a pinch here. Ah, fiddlesticks. No, that didn't work. Yeah, it looks like 18 was the magic number for now. It's a pretty fast exit. We're just over a half of an R to 1 in this risk to reward ratio scenario. We can try 40 on the exit band again and maybe drop it to 35. Just see what pops up in these ranges. 40, you're going to get more than a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You're barely breaking even. Let's try 35. Yeah, 35 didn't do us any good. We're actually losing, just barely, but losing. And 30 is a 1-to-1 pretty much. And the win rate's 6% over 50, so you do end up with a better win rate than you were losing. We'll try 25, see if we can't find a sweet spot here. Alright, 25, you're just under a 1-to-1. It's 0.9. Your win rate does shoot up to 58%. The profit was 44 points won to 35 lost. Not bad. It's tempting to run with that. I think 18 is just that high win rate. Yeah, it's really, really hard not to run with that. And yep, let's take a look at, I mean, gosh, 72% win rate, 33 points won to 21 lost. Let's take a look real quick. That's a single. This is going to be second entry, so they'll have 2 arrows. Basically, has to fail the first and then go. Okay, so like right here, this double triangle right here is a entry. So this would have been a win. Very easy win. The X right there is the exit. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we have. There's a loss. Alright, let's keep on looking. There weren't many trades. Here we go. So that's a nice trade. There's the exit right there is the X. Here's a winner. Oh wow, so that's a double. So you would have won just barely, but you won. It did throw that X out. That X is your exit. If you're going to use the Predator, the exit for that, you double click on this X, it'll give it to you, but you can customize it if you want. If you want to customize the tag, and Predator will pick this up. Just make sure you input this exactly like it is in the indicator. So a capital S and a capital O has to be on there. Don't worry about the numbers. They will automatically generate. It doesn't interfere with the bot executing the exit. So there's a shark fin right there. Nice shark fin too. It's another reversal signal. There's another double. Okay, so the doubles were really hitting pretty good. Another double. Here we did. I guess we had the resilience filter hitting these because they're on doubles. And that's generally what's going on if you have several in a row and you're not getting doubles, it's the resilience is kicked in. Alright, so there's a double win. Here's another double win. A lot of single wins too. Kind of surprised. And that was the gap earlier last week. It looks like we're going to be going. Okay, so we're getting more and more wins as the time actually got more trendy. So I think this will work. I probably won't roll with the second entries as much as I'm going to roll with the shark fins to begin with. It's just a personal choice. Again, do what you're doing. Do it at your own risk. And do not copy me. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and save these. I'll paste my filter into the chat, but I'm going to save this as my templates. Sorry, my templates. December. That's so weird saying December. And we'll say this. It's really the momentum settings could also be. I'll just say this is settings because these are sharing and they don't cross over. Both settings actually worked. So I'll go ahead and paste mine. I won't be using first entries for sure this week unless something changes. I will use the shark fins. Shark fins right now are doing really well. Same settings as last week. I don't see a lot of them, but I do see them working when they do tend to plot. They do fairly well here. So you got one here that gave you a really good runner, and then see how many points this was. 40 points there. You'd probably get another 70 points here at least. No, 20 points here. 17 points, sorry. So yeah, even on these big trend days, they seem this one didn't hit. This one lost. But if you if you were playing the game right, you still could have won some money here. It just would have been a wide stop. I don't tend to do that with my bot. I just can't. So let's see here. So right here we do have another shark fin, and these just are hitting. So until they stop hitting, I'll probably continue to use them. And that should pretty much conclude our tuning for the night. So good luck this week. We hopefully have a good week of price action coming up. For those that are going to be off, have a great holiday. Enjoy your vacation times. Trade cautiously, and I wish you success. I'll talk to you later.